Have you ever felt like true friendship is becoming a rare gem in today's world? There's a quote from a Stoic thinker who once said, "Friendship is like a diamond, rare, precious, and surrounded by countless imitations. And when you've been betrayed or disappointed enough times, you start to believe that maybe genuine friendship doesn't even exist, that maybe all of it is just a comforting illusion we chase but never truly grasp." But here's the truth. Real friendship does exist. It's just not as easy to find as scrolling through a contact list or counting your followers online. In fact, many people today, good people, kind people, feel lonely not because something is wrong with them, but because meaningful connection is harder than ever to cultivate in a world full of distractions and superficial interactions. So let's ask the tough question. If you don't have a lot of friends, does that say something about your worth? The answer, absolutely not. Friendship isn't a popularity contest. It's not measured by how many birthday wishes you get on social media. It's about depth, not numbers. And if you're someone who values honesty, loyalty, and depth, then it makes sense that you'd find fewer people who match that frequency. In this video, we're going to explore why some people struggle to find lasting friendships, not because they're flawed, but because the path to authentic connection requires a different mindset. A mindset rooted in Stoic wisdom. We'll dive into what prevents connection, how modern life complicates relationships, and most importantly, how you can build true, resilient friendships by focusing on what's in your control. If you've ever looked around and wondered, why do I feel alone, even in a crowded room? This video is for you. Stay with me. Let's untangle this together, because just like a sculptor slowly reveals a masterpiece by removing what doesn't belong, you too can shape a life filled with meaningful connection. Let's begin this journey, not just with our minds open, but with our hearts ready. 1. Introversion and shyness are not flaws. Let's talk about something that many people carry like a secret burden. Shyness and introversion. If you've ever found yourself at a party, standing near the snack table, unsure how to join a conversation, or if you've rehearsed what to say in your head 100 times, only to say nothing at all, you're not alone. But here's the truth. Being introverted or shy is not a weakness. It's a different way of seeing and interacting with the world. It's a quiet strength that often gets overlooked in a society that rewards loudness, speed, and constant networking. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Accept the things to which fate binds you." That means don't fight who you are. Don't try to become someone else just to fit in. Your nature is not something to escape. It's something to understand and embrace. When you stop labeling your quietness as a flaw, everything starts to change. You begin to stand a little taller, speak a little clearer, not to impress, but to express. Because what truly connects people is not volume, but authenticity. Here's the beautiful part. Introverts often make the most loyal, thoughtful, and meaningful friends. Why? Because when they connect deeply. Not because they crave attention, but because they value truth and depth. Friendship, in the Stoic view, is not a race or a reward. It's a journey. It's not about collecting people like trophies. It's about slowly and honestly building relationships that reflect who you truly are. So instead of trying to change your wiring, try this. Work with it. Start with one conversation, one question, one real moment. That's all it takes. Don't worry about the crowd. Look for the connection. Remember, being quiet doesn't mean being invisible, and being introverted doesn't mean you have nothing to offer. Some of the strongest voices are the ones that speak softly, because when they do speak, they mean every word. So walk into the world not trying to be louder, but truer. Let your stillness be your strength, because in that quiet, something powerful is waiting to be heard. Let's keep going. There's more to uncover. 2. Trust issues. Rebuilding connection with wisdom. Let's be honest, trust is fragile. You don't hand it out like candy. You build it piece by piece, through time, through actions, through presence. But what happens when that trust is broken? When someone you cared for lets you down, lied, or simply walked away? It hurts. And for many of us, it makes us want to shut the door entirely. Better safe than sorry, right? But here's where Stoic wisdom offers a powerful reminder. People change, just like the seasons. That doesn't mean we have to become cold or guarded forever. The key to navigating trust issues isn't to build higher walls, it's to build stronger foundations. And that starts with you. Ask yourself, what do I truly value? What are my boundaries? What do I need in a relationship to feel safe, respected, and heard? Because when you know who you are, when you're rooted in your values, it becomes much easier to recognize who belongs in your life and who doesn't. Self-awareness becomes your internal compass in a world full of shifting faces. But here's the other part. Real trust requires communication, not mind reading. If something feels off, speak up, share your thoughts, ask questions, and equally important, listen. Don't just hear to reply, listen to understand. A single honest conversation can clear up months of confusion, or it can reveal the truth you've been avoiding. Either way, it gives you clarity. I know it's scary. Vulnerability always is, but trust isn't built through perfection. It's built through consistency and courage. And yes, sometimes trust will be broken again. That's life. But each time you'll come out stronger, wiser, more anchored in yourself. The Stoics teach us not to expect perfection from people, just like we shouldn't expect it from ourselves. But what we can do is choose how we respond, with grace, with strength, and with boundaries that honor our worth. So don't close your heart. Guard it wisely, yes, but don't lock it away. Trust may be delicate, but with the right people, in the right time, it can grow into something unshakable. And those relationships, they're worth the risk. Let's keep going. There's more wisdom ahead. 3, it's not about meeting people, it's about connecting. You might be surprised to hear this, but a lack of friendship often doesn't come from not meeting people. It comes from not connecting with them. Think about it. We pass by hundreds of people every week. We see faces in grocery stores, at work, at the gym. We scroll past thousands online, yet many of us still feel alone. Not because we're invisible, but because real connection is rare and effort is everything. The Stoics teach us that it's not the quantity of interaction that shapes our lives, it's the quality. So if you're feeling isolated, maybe it's not about waiting for people to find you. Maybe it's about stepping into spaces where true connection can happen. Let me give you a starting point. Community service. Volunteer not just to give, but to connect. Whether it's planting trees, helping at a shelter, or organizing books at your local library, every act of service becomes a bridge. You meet people who value the same things: kindness, contribution, purpose. Another often overlooked path? Nature. Yes, getting outside. Join a local hiking group, community bike ride, or yoga class in the park. Something magical happens when we strip away distractions and share space under the open sky. Conversations become easier, more genuine. You're not staring at your phone. You're present. Still not your thing? Then tap into your passions. Whether it's a book club, a woodworking class, or an online forum about photography, go where people speak your language. The energy is different when you're surrounded by others who get it. You're not just making small talk. You're building trust through shared interest. But here's the secret. The connection doesn't always have to be instant. Like the Stoics say, every encounter is a chance to learn, reflect, and grow. Not every meeting turns into friendship, but every effort sharpens your ability to recognize the ones that could. So ask yourself, not where are the people, but where can I show up fully? Because the moment you start seeking connection over convenience, everything changes. And who knows, the next meaningful friendship might be waiting for you right where you least expect it. Building social skills, the art of genuine connection. Let's talk about a game changer in forming real friendships, social skills. Because here's the thing, friendship doesn't just happen, it's nurtured. It's not magic, it's practice. And one of the most powerful tools you have? Empathetic listening. Imagine sitting across from someone, phone away, eye contact, really present. You ask a question and don't just wait for your turn to speak. Listen. Listen to understand, to feel, to learn. I remember early in my career, in a crowded coffee shop, I saw a woman hesitating. I struck up a simple conversation. "What brings you here today?" She lit up, sharing her passion for writing. That moment sparked a deep friendship that changed my life, because I chose to listen, not just talk. Start small. Chat with someone in the cafe line. Comment with kindness on an online community. These micro moments shape your confidence. And when conversations falter, or someone says no to plans, that's okay. Embrace it with stoic calm. Maybe they're busy. Maybe it's not a match. It doesn't define you. Each no is a lesson, a chance to refine your approach, not a verdict on your worth. Here's a question. Remember the last conversation that felt really meaningful? What made it special? Was it the vulnerability, the shared laughter, the sense you were both fully present? Those are the qualities that matter far more than how many people know your name. The truth? One deep, authentic connection can mean more than 100 surface-level interactions. Stoicism argues, you don't need a crowd, you need a connection. That's why it's worth investing in your social muscles. Show up, even if it's a little awkward at first. Ask a heartfelt question. Reflect on what you learned and carry that forward. Social skills aren't about impressive phrases or witty remarks. They're about showing up, showing care, and staying composed. So next time you're at a gathering or online, remember, quality beats quantity. A single moment of genuine presence can start something real. And you can be that someone who offers it. Let's keep going, because there's still more wisdom ahead. 5. Changing circumstances. Don't forget the ones who were always there. There's a story you may have heard, the story of the boy and the apple tree. When the boy was young, he played with the tree every day. He laughed under its shade, climbed its branches, and loved it with all his heart. But as he grew older, life began to pull him away. He chased success, money, and status. He only returned to the tree when he needed something, from its fruit to its branches to its trunk. And the tree, it always gave, quietly, without complaint. This story mirrors a truth many of us don't realize until it's too late. As we grow older and chase life's big dreams, we often forget the quiet friendships that once gave us everything. Maybe it's that childhood friend who always listened, the neighbor who helped you during tough times, the colleague who believed in you when no one else did. We don't mean to drift away. Life just happens. But one day, you look around and realize the people who once mattered most are no longer near. Not because they left, but because you stopped showing up. The Stoics remind us, the good things in life aren't just earned through ambition. They're sustained through attention, through presence. Friendship doesn't ask for grand gestures. It thrives on small, consistent actions. A quick check-in, a kind message, a shared laugh over coffee. These are the roots of a bond that can withstand storms. So here's a question. Who's your apple tree? Who has stood by you, offered support, or simply existed quietly in your corner, expecting nothing yet giving everything? Reach out to them, not because you need something, but because you remember. And if you've been that tree for someone else, know this. Your quiet loyalty has value beyond words. You are the shade in someone's scorching summer. In the end, friendships don't fade because we stop caring. They fade because we stop nurturing. And like any living thing, they need sunlight, attention, effort, presence. So water the roots. Be the friend who remembers. Because sometimes the greatest treasures in life are the ones that were always right there. 6. Shifting priorities, the river of life, and the friends who stay. Life is a river. It twists, turns, and sometimes flows in directions we never planned. And as the current shifts, so do our priorities. What mattered most in our 20s may not hold the same weight in our 40s or 60s. The dreams we chased, the people we spent time with, even how we define success, they all evolve. And with that evolution, something else changes too. Our friendships. You may have noticed it. Those long calls become quick texts. The regular meetups turn into let's catch up soon. People drift. Not because you don't care, but because life rearranges your attention. And that's okay. The Stoics remind us, it's not the number of friends you have that matters, it's the depth of the connection. As your responsibilities grow, career, family, personal growth, you won't have time for everyone. But you do have time for the right ones, the people who truly align with who you are today. So pause and ask, who brings peace into my life? Who shows up, not just when it's easy, but when it matters? These are the friendships worth holding on to. These are the people to prioritize, not out of obligation, but because they reflect your present self, your values, your journey. And when someone drifts away, instead of seeing it as a loss, try this. See it as part of the natural flow of life, like a chapter in your story. Not everyone is meant to walk with us forever, but everyone teaches us something while they're here. Some friends are bridges to who we were. Others are anchors for who we are now. A few rare ones, they're the compass guiding who we're becoming. So don't mourn the changes, embrace them. Your energy is sacred. Direct it toward relationships that nourish, challenge, and uplift you. Because at the end of the day, a few deep, meaningful connections are worth more than 100 surface-level ones. Let life flow, let priorities shift, and let friendship evolve with grace. 7. Mental well-being. The inner peace that builds stronger friendships. Let me ask you something simple but deep. Have you ever pulled away from people, not because they did anything wrong, but because your mind felt too heavy to connect? That's the invisible weight of stress, anxiety, or depression. And sometimes, without even realizing it, we start building walls instead of bridges. You see, when your inner world is in chaos, it's hard to be present for anyone else. Even a friendly message can feel like too much. The invitation to connect, it feels like pressure. And slowly, quietly, loneliness creeps in, not because we don't want people, but because we've lost the energy to let them in. This is where Stoicism becomes more than just a philosophy. It becomes a lifeline. The Stoics taught us, you can't control the storm outside, but you can strengthen the foundation within. Through mindfulness, meditation, and self-awareness, we can create calm, not by silencing the world, but by mastering our response to it. Just 10 minutes a day, breathing, observing, grounding yourself can shift your entire emotional landscape. Not for perfection, not to fake a smile, but to gain clarity, to see that emotions are signals, not sentences. They don't define you, they guide you. And here's something powerful. When your inner world becomes a place of peace, others are drawn to you. You become the friend who listens without judgment, the one who stays calm when others panic, the lighthouse in someone else's storm. People gravitate to those who radiate stability, not because they have all the answers, but because they've learned to stand still in the chaos. So if you've been struggling, start small. Take care of your mind, not just for your own sake, but for the friendships that depend on the best version of you. Because the strongest relationships aren't built on constant laughter or perfect days. They're built on presence, resilience, and the quiet power of someone who has made peace with themselves. And that's where real connection begins, within. 8. Lifestyle and busyness. Make time for what truly matters. Let's be honest, life is fast. We're chasing deadlines, managing responsibilities, balancing family, health, finances. And somewhere in that whirlwind, friendships quietly slip through the cracks. At the end of a long day, maybe you look around and realize the seat across from you at the dinner table is empty. Not just physically, but emotionally. You haven't checked in with your closest friend in weeks, and not because you don't care, you're just busy. But here's a powerful truth we often forget. Busyness is not a badge of honor if it costs you your most meaningful connections. So pause. Ask yourself, are the things you're filling your schedule with actually feeding your soul, or are they just keeping you distracted? Stoicism teaches us to be intentional. Like a sculptor chiseling a block of stone, we must carve out time deliberately for the people who matter. This isn't about having more hours in the day, it's about prioritizing. Maybe it's 15 minutes to call a friend during your commute. Maybe it's a walk together once a week. Maybe it's just sending a voice message saying, "Hey, I was thinking of you." Because in the end, depth matters more than frequency. One genuine conversation is worth more than 100 shallow exchanges. And let's not forget, your lifestyle reflects your values. Every interaction is a reflection of what you stand for. When you show up, fully present, engaged, and sincere, you're telling the other person, you matter, I see you, I value this. Life will always be busy, but you get to choose what you're busy with. So sculpt your life with intention. Make space for joy, for laughter, for connection. Because at the end of the day, it's not the checklists or achievements we remember most. It's the people who stood beside us. Choose presence over perfection. Choose connection over convenience. And let your lifestyle reflect the love and value you place on the people in your life. 9. Differences in interests. Finding connection beyond similarity. Have you ever felt disconnected from someone simply because they didn't share your hobbies? Maybe you're into gaming and they're all about gardening. You love hiking, they love reading. And in that gap, silence forms. But here's a perspective shift worth considering. What if differences weren't barriers, but bridges? In a world that constantly pushes us to find our tribe, we forget that connection isn't only built on shared interests, it's built on shared values. The Stoics remind us of something powerful. We may not all love the same things, but we all feel the same emotions: curiosity, passion, dedication, joy. So the real question isn't, do we like the same stuff? It's, can I appreciate what lights you up, even if it's not my thing? Imagine this, a gamer and a gardener. On paper, they couldn't be more different. But look deeper. They both spend hours practicing patience. They both love seeing growth, from a virtual level up or a blooming flower. They both care deeply about something, and that right there is a place to connect. When we approach others with curiosity instead of comparison, something amazing happens. Our world expands. We get to learn to see life from a fresh angle. We become richer in perspective, deeper in empathy, and more importantly, we create space for genuine connection. So next time you meet someone who seems too different, lean in. Ask questions, not to pretend you love what they love, but to honor their joy. Because when we stop trying to clone our own interests in others and start appreciating what makes them come alive, we discover that human connection runs far deeper than surface-level similarities. Differences aren't reasons to walk away. They're invitations to learn, to grow, and to see the world through another heart. So be open, be curious, and let your friendships be a symphony, not of sameness, but of harmony. At the heart of every meaningful friendship lies something deeper than casual conversation. It's the courage to understand yourself, the patience to grow with others, and the wisdom to know when to open your heart. Friendship isn't just about being social, it's about being real. Whether you're an introvert who recharges in silence, an extrovert who thrives in the energy of others, or somewhere in between, it doesn't matter. What truly matters is showing up as your authentic self. Because building connection isn't a talent some are born with. It's a skill we all can cultivate. It starts with self-awareness, knowing what you value, what you need, and what you're willing to give. It continues with patience, giving time for trust to grow, for stories to unfold, for hearts to meet. And it thrives with intentional action. Taking the first step, being consistent, listening deeply, and staying open, even when it's not easy. The Stoics taught us not to chase what's beyond our control, but to master what is. You can't force someone to be your friend, but you can become someone who attracts friendship through honesty, compassion, and clarity of purpose. Ask yourself, who are the people that uplift you? When was the last time you truly connected with no expectations, no masks, and more importantly, are you the kind of friend you would want in your life? This journey isn't always smooth. You'll face rejection, silence, misunderstanding, but don't let that harden you. Let it sharpen you. Let it remind you that real connection is rare because it's valuable. So as we wrap up this video, I'd love to hear from you. Are you an introvert, an extrovert, or maybe an ambivert? Drop your answer in the comments and tell us what's one thing that helps you build genuine friendships. If this message resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell so you never miss an episode. We're just getting started, and in the next video, we'll continue to explore timeless Stoic wisdom that helps you thrive in today's world. Until then, stay grounded, stay open, and stay stoic. Your next great friendship might just begin with you.